2026 is going to be a really exciting year for Arecor for sure. I mean, we'll continue to focus our attention on our dual strategy around diabetes with AT278 and also the oral delivery of peptides, which are both multi-billion-dollar markets with high unmet patient need.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Arecor Therapeutics CEO, Sarah Howell. Sarah, very good to speak with you. How would you summarize the second half of Arecor's financial year? What have been the highlights?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just as a quick recap, Arecor is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company. We're focused on drug development and enhanced delivery in the cardiometabolic space. And our key areas of focus continue to be on two core product areas. So we have AT278, which is a unique best-in-class insulin for the treatment of diabetes. And we're also working on the development of a novel oral delivery of peptides platform. In both of these areas, we're targeting areas here of significant unmet patient needs in high-value, multi-billion-dollar markets. And within the second half of the financial year, we've delivered some really important strategic milestones in both of these areas. For AT278, we entered into a phase 2 enabling co-development partnership with Sequel MedTech, who've developed and launched an innovative automated insulin delivery system in the US. And we continue to progress our oral delivery of peptides platform with non-clinical pharmacokinetic studies ongoing, which are really data rich, actually. We continue to inform our optimal approach to improving bioavailability, which is ultimately our aim in this program. We also, as you will have seen last year, we also raised non-dilutive funding through the sale of certain royalty and milestone rights that Arecor had to Ligand Pharma. That brought in $7 million upfront and a further $4 million in CVRs, of which we'd expect to receive further $1 million during 2026. So we achieved, and again, you'll have seen in the business update that we sent out there, you'll have seen we had total revenue for the year of £3.1 million. That includes the discontinued operations there of Tetris, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit, and resulted in a cash balance at the end of December 2025 of $6.1 million, which alongside that Ligand deal that I just spoke about and our proactive cash management there has extended our cash runway into the first half of 27. The figures I've just mentioned are obviously unaudited at this stage, of course, but they really indicate our solid financial position of the business.
Sarah, you mentioned that you've been working with the Sequel team since last September on the AT278 development program. How's that going, and what are the next milestones coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it's going really well. I think the key thing here is that we have a shared vision with Sequel, and this is around bringing next generation, these automated insulin delivery systems, so aid systems, to people with diabetes to really improve their outcomes and lower the really significant disease management burden that comes with living with diabetes. And this really needs a combination of an innovative an AID system or insulin pump technology. Clearly, this is Sequel, and also next generation insulins, which is where Arecor comes in. The teams are working really well together, really two really fast-paced, innovative teams getting ready for that pivotal phase 2 clinical study, and we're targeting starting that study within the second half of the year. And you'll have seen, as we said in our statement, we have positive negotiations are in progress currently on a broader co-development and commercialization partnership for the phase 2 clinical study and beyond. So it's a little bit of a watch this space at this stage, but we'll for sure come back to talk to you in more detail about that when we can.
How are you intending to fund the phase 2 trial?
Yeah, of course, the phase 2 clinical study is subject to funding and the funding requirements at that time, of course. As I spoke about, we entered into this 50-50 co-development agreement with Sequel. So we're 50-50 funding all of those phase 2 enabling activities. And we're working actively at the moment on a similar type of co-development, co-funding deal for phase 2 clinical and beyond. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a robust cash position with cash into the first half of 27. So a balance sheet to support these future negotiations so we can ensure that we get the best deal for Arecor and return that value to our shareholders.
Moving on to your other focus, how's the oral GLP-1 program coming along? When will we hear about any data?
Yeah, so again, maybe a slight recap. So GLP-1 is a peptide, and peptides are an increasingly important class of therapeutics in development at the moment, especially in the cardiometabolic space. There's over 100 peptides in development for diabetes and obesity. But key here is that of all of those, across development and those therapeutics that have been brought to market to date, only 2 already delivered peptides are on the market today. And the issue here is that they have very low oral bioavailability, so it's extremely challenging to get enough drug or enough therapeutic load available to patients. And we know that many people living with chronic diseases would rather take a pill rather than, say, a daily or even a weekly injection here, but it's this very low bioavailability that's a significant challenge for peptides as a class of therapeutics. So we're working initially, as you mentioned, on GLP-1 here for the treatment of obesity. We're aiming to improve bioavailability. So there is a GLP-1 on the market today, Rybelsus, but that has less than 1% oral bioavailability. So we're looking to achieve improved bioavailability compared to that gold standard GLP-1 that's available today. And really importantly, if we can do this, if we can demonstrate this across an oral GLP-1, then this would be highly translatable to other peptides, which could result in obviously a significant commercial upside for Arecor. So we're currently generating data and insights. We're doing a number of pharmacokinetic studies, non-clinical studies, and this will enable us to inform next steps moving forward. I would also note, I think it's quite important to note that at the moment, this R&D program requires very minimal resources at this stage. This is internal Arecor fantastic scientists that are working on this program.
Going back to your financial performance, Sarah, how does it compare to market expectations?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the total revenue for the year ending December 25, including those discontinued operations, was £3.1 million. That's compared to 2024, it's £5.1 million. That decrease is due to the cessation of the Tetris operations that we announced at the beginning of 2025. As I mentioned already, again, we had cash and cash equivalents at the end of the year of 6.1 million. At the end of 2024, that was 3.2 million. And they're above, the 6.1 million is above market expectations. And that's due to favorable performance with the wind down of Tetris.
And how's 2026 shaping up? What can we look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, 2026 is going to be a really exciting year for Arecor for sure. I mean, we'll continue to focus our attention on our dual strategy around diabetes with AT278 and also the oral delivery of peptides, which are both multi-billion-dollar markets with high unmet patient need. Clearly, a big step for Arecor will be entering into that phase 2 clinical study, which we're aiming to do in the second half of the year, and be doing that alongside a key co-development partner in the AID space. And we'll continue to generate data, this non-clinical pharmacokinetic data around improving bioavailability for the oral delivery of peptides, which has tremendous upside if we can show that improved bioavailability. So yeah, there's a lot going on across 2026, but I think we're in good shape to deliver across these key business areas.
I hope you'll keep us posted on your progress. Thank you very much for the update today.
Thank you.
That's Sarah Howell, the CEO of Arecor Therapeutics.